Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Omega Insight. The topic that I've chosen tonight is called Beyond the Horizon. Now, I've always been fascinated with the horizon ever since I was a very little girl. And at a very young age, I understood that no matter how far I traveled towards the horizon, I'd never reach it. So it represented an unattainable distance, and I kind of equated that with the future and the unknown. And then along the way, as I grew older and I started investigating words and the uh, definitions and meanings and equivalents of translations, imagine my surprise when I discovered that the Greek translation of horizon, which is orizein, is to limit. Now, that was something I didn't understand. What do you mean? The horizon is something that it's limitless to me, and yet the Greeks are saying that it is limited. How could this be possible? So, the definition of the horizon is the line that separates the earth from the sky. That's easily understood. Now, that line gives us direction in all different ways. And you can look at that in two different categories: those that intersect the earth, so the sky and the earth, the space and the earth, or those that do not intersect the sky and the earth, meaning that it's called a visible horizon. So there's the true horizon when nothing is obstructed, and the visible horizon where there is obstruction. So this is easy to understand. Let's say you're standing up on a mountain in Kihei and you're looking out at the ocean. That's the example of the true horizon. There's no obstructions. But if you're in New York City standing on Broadway and looking out, you only seeing as far as the obstructions are. That is a visible horizon. So there's two different horizons: the true horizon and the visible horizon. Now, why is this important? Well, I've often said that to keep my eyes on the horizon, regardless of the travel I've just done. So I always striving for the horizon, always striving out for the horizon. It sounded like a very profound statement to me. Yet it never occurred to me that my horizon was a visible horizon and not the true horizon. So it never occurred to me that my vision may be obstructed, and that what I was looking for really wasn't true. And so it could be very well that my visible horizon, I'm assuming it to be the true horizon. In other words, I'm not seeing clearly. That's what it comes down to. So I'm aware that in the physical world, there's many things that can obstruct my view, from the tree outside my window to the large vehicle in front of me on the road. And typically, whenever we become aware of an obstruction, there always seems to be some kind of annoyance or an emotional. We say down in front when we're in the movie theater, right? Down in front, essentially meaning you're blocking my view. Sit down, you're blocking my view. When I'm on the road, hey, get out of the way because that person's blocking my view. Now, elevation is a height above a fixed point of reference, which is the mean sea level. You know, most of us talk about the sea level. So elevation means how high I am from the horizon. I stand at an elevation of 5'2" without heels on. I'm 5'2". That's as high as my elevation is. In order for me, and so I look out in the world, in order for me to increase my horizon, I must increase my elevation. Now, I took some photos of uh, Sedona a few years back, and they're kind of behind me. I don't know if you can see that, but so what I have is here is the creek, the Sedona Creek, right at the water level, and that's as far as I can see. This next picture is me at 5'2" looking out, and then the final picture, I'm up on the road, 100 feet above. And obviously, you could see that my horizon extends or is expanded with the elevation that I am having. So I'm that's at the highest elevation right there is 100 feet. Now, this is important. I speak about expanding my capacity. It's one of my favorite topics. Everything correlates to capacity. Therefore, if in this illustration, my capacity expands when I increase my elevation. So as I increase my elevation, my capacity expands, my view of the horizon expands. This is not a hard topic to understand. We all understand this. What does it mean, however, to expand my capacity? Expanding my capacity. Now, um, the definition of capacity is the ability to receive and or contain. That's my capacity. I have a physically, I have a lung capacity. I have a heart capacity. I even have a chocolate capacity. So physically, we can understand our capacities. We can correlate that to limitations as well. What about the other levels of me? Do I have a capacity or am I limited emotionally? Well, we often hear the word, are we stuck? Emotionally, do you feel stuck? What about mentally? Do I have a narrow thought process? Like, am I limited in my thinking? What about my intuition? What about love? What level of love do I exist on? And my inner voice, we can even say my spirit, is that a limitation as well? Now, in my 50 years of life on this planet, I've witnessed the physical evolution. Like I witnessed myself going up to a 5'2", and then I reached my limitation there. I've also witnessed the expansion of my midsection, but we're not going to go there. So I have that progression. I've reached it. I've also experienced a progression emotionally, meaning that my reactions are less dramatic. I have far less reactions, and I'm also less traumatic, if we can say. Mentally, I feel like I'm still learning on the mental level. I don't know if I've reached that capacity yet, limitation. I have developed a keen intuition, which surprises me almost every time it kicks in. I've experienced different kinds of love. Remember, we've spoken about the different types of love there are. Agape love, unconditional love is the highest level. I have experienced that. I don't maintain it, but I have experienced it. And then what about my spirit? Is that evolving? I believe if it goes along with all the other levels, that there must be a level of capacity for my spirit as well. We could say spirit, consciousness, inner voice, whatever words you wish to choose on this one. Now, in the physical realm, in order for me to overcome my obstacle, I have to look past it or climb over it. So I must be able to, like, if I'm in the movie theater down in front, well, I can get up and just move to another seat. That's easy to understand. If I wish to see further, obviously, I must elevate. Same thing with emotions and mental. I must rise above my emotions. You've heard me say this before. Expanding my thinking, embracing other points of view. All of this is correlated back to our capacity and the horizon, which is what I want to go back to. If I can say, in metaphorically speaking, my true horizon would be my spirit, consciousness, awareness, unobstructed, that pure essence. That's what I would be striving to reach and to obtain. If I have obstacles in the way, just like physical and emotional, I have to rise above them. I move. Therefore, I must move in the spiritual realm. Now, the direction here is a little bit tricky. It's not as clear as physically I see my physical obstacle. Emotionally, I can identify my reactions and my judgments. I can identify that and annoyances. And those are connected mentally. And they're also connected spiritually, consciously, awareness wise. Every time I have a judgment, annoyance, or reaction, I am limiting myself. I'm limited myself and my horizon. It's like putting an obstacle in front of my true horizon, and I'm now stuck on the visible horizon. My job doing the work would be to overcome my visible horizon and strive for the physical or visible true. Strive for the true. I get confused on the horizons. My job would be to overcome my visible horizon, the obstacles, and strive for the true horizon, unobstructed view. Therefore, my work is cut out for me. Just as I must elevate my physical body, I must expand and elevate my spiritual, my consciousness. I must rise above my judgments, reactions, and annoyances that come up. Only then can I reach my true spiritual level, the level that I'm striving for. Only then. So I must rise above that, just like these pictures. I must rise physically. I must rise spiritually as well. Now, of course, I know we've talked about this before, but I wanted to make the nice connection to the horizon. Looking out at that horizon, where am I exactly going? Is it true, or is it just a visual? Is it the visible, or is it true? And what obstacles stand in my way? So, thank you so much for joining me this evening to talk about our horizons. I look forward to seeing you on Friday for another coffee talk. I hope you have a wonderful evening. And until then, bye now.